Soul Groove Radio. Just love it. Love it. Love it.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the final hour. As promised, I'll be joined by Romeo Johnson. I'm going to bring him online right now. Hi, Romeo.
How's it going, Moochie? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. I hope you're well. What time is it where you are?
It is 7 a.m.
Right.
Where I am.
Are you in LA, right?
I'm actually in Las Vegas at the moment.
At the moment. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I've lived in Los Angeles most of my life, but I actually have a residence in Las Vegas right now.
All right. That's brilliant. So to all our listeners, we welcome to Indie Soul Rhythms, our brother Romeo Johnson. And I'm just going to let him introduce himself and tell you a little bit more about himself. But what I'm going to tell you is that this guy wears many hats. He's a vocal coach. He was vocal coach on NBC's Emmy Award-winning The Voice, vocal director on Vocal Coach, and vocal coach on MTV's Star Maker. Romeo, welcome to Indie Soul Rhythms. And as I say, I think let's just get into it. So, in case my introduction didn't do you justice at all, please tell our listeners briefly who you are and where you're from.
Sure. Your introduction was fine, man. You caught the second half of my career. A lot of people know me as a vocal coach because of the television shows.
Yeah.
Star Maker, as you said, on MTV. A lot of people mostly know me from MTV's P. Diddy's Making His Band. And then I was the vocal director and vocal coach of course, NBC's The Voice from the beginning from the time that he came to the United States, at least. But those TV shows, they basically came after 2 decades plus of me singing and touring and recording with people like Vesta Williams and Ollie Woodson from The Temptations, James Ingram, MC Hammer, Sheena Easton, Jody Watley, Rasan Patterson, Teddy Riley, Millie Jackson, Queen Latifah, Neo. But most people know about my touring because I was blessed to be the only vocalist to ever tour with both Janet and Michael Jackson. And, that's kind of sums up my career. I was a bass player and a vocalist. I became a vocal coach, and then I was featured on multiple television shows. And but that was it, just a guy from Chattanooga, Tennessee, man.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So you've just mentioned, the people that you worked with and what you've done in the music industry. So can you just talk us through your journey, where and how you started in the music industry?
Sure. So I was born and raised in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm the youngest of 4. My mom and dad always kept music playing in the house all the time. Great music, from gospel to R&B or soul music, as they called it then. My mom sang extremely well. So I grew up just mimicking her as a kid, not really thinking to pursue it. I just was mimicking her. We all love music and we sing along the radio when we come up. But I didn't really think about taking it seriously. I was really just kind of having fun. I thought everybody could sing, man. Like everyone in my family could sing, so I thought everyone in the world could sing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was in middle school and I heard someone singing horribly, and I'm like, "Yo, what are you doing? why are you doing that?" I thought they were joking, and then they looked at me, and I was like, "Oops, I think I hurt their feelings."
Right.
But I thought everyone could sing, and around 9 or 10, I started taking piano lessons because all of my siblings played piano or trumpet or something, and I didn't love it that much, to be honest with you. Around 15, I started playing bass guitar. And that's when it clicked. I liked this music thing. And by the end of high school, I knew that was what I wanted to do for a living.
Amazing. So, so we've talked a bit about the music side of it. And I'm pretty sure I was actually quite fascinated when I read this, that you're also a professor at the University of Southern California Thornton School of Music in the popular music department. And you also CEO of Romeo Entertainment Global and Sangers by Romeo Johnson brand. How do you balance all these demands of all these ventures and being a professor at the same time?
It's a good question. as a result, I think, as a result of being a touring musician, when you get into this game, you just want to be successful and you want to be good and you want to get every gig you can get and you want to be great at it. So
Mm.
you just think of tackling whatever is presented to you. You want to accept it. You want to you want to do the best job you can. You know, you get this tour, you want to be the best you can on that tour, and then another tour comes, you want to be the best. And before you know it, you look back and realize, dang, I did a lot. I didn't even realize it because you're
Mm.
so focused on the task at hand. And I think forming that habit is kind of the answer to this question because I don't. When you say it, I agree. I'm like, what in the world? It is a lot of things to do, but
Yeah.
as I think of things, I'm like, you know what? This would be a great thing to pursue. Let's go for it. Romeo Entertainment Global is just the mother company that kind of is the umbrella of everything that I do. Uh, Ultimately, I've been blessed in this industry, so what I've always wanted to do is pour back into young up and coming even before I became a vocal coach, I always wanted to share and teach. So Singers by Romeo Johnson is a brand, but it kind of started off almost like an agency
Mm.
because once I got successful, I was called on often to get singers. People from like Christina Aguilera's camp would call me and say, "Hey, we need singers. Can you put them together for me?" John Legend's camp would call me. Different people would call me. So I would put people to work, and I thought, you know what? I would always use the word singers, because we always do that. Singers say a lot of times,
Yeah.
"Do you sing or do you sang?"
Yeah.
And I would always spell it in that way. That was my own little spelling, the Sangahz, singers.
Yeah.
And I was on the road with The Voice. We were recruiting singers with The Voice, and 2 o'clock in the morning, it just hit me in my spirit. Hey, you know what? Turn that into a brand and make it a thing. And so for the past several years, and people have been rocking it. So I love that. But as far as the professorship thing, that was just man, that was a blessing that caught me off guard. Patrice Rushen is the chair over the pop music department at
Mm.
U.S. Thornton School of Music, and of course, I've been a fan of hers since I was young, and we became friends and have worked together. And she called me and said, "Hey, Romeo, would you consider taking on a professorship here?" There's a little story behind that, but ultimately, of course, I said yes, and I did that for like 9 years now. So yeah, I just kind of tackle what's in front of me, brother.
Wow. I'm gonna take that advice and put it to use as
Awesome.
well.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna have a couple of fun questions just to
Okay,
lighten the mood. With regards to your
sure.
music career, what's the best
hmm
compliment you've ever got?
Man, I've had a couple of times where my musical heroes gave me props or whatever, and every time I get a compliment from someone that I grew up looking up to, that blows me away. But there's a few that stands out. One was when Jimmy Iovine introduced me to Quincy Jones, and he said, "Do you guys know each other?" And I was like, no, I think we briefly met before, but I don't think he knows who I am." And he was like, "No, I know who you are."
Oh wow.
And I thought that yeah, I was like, he doesn't know who I am. He's confusing me with somebody else. He doesn't know. And I'm thinking this is about to be a really embarrassing moment when he goes, "Oh, sorry, I thought you were somebody else."
Yeah.
And he was like, "No." He said, "No, I know who you are. You're the guy from the P. Diddy show that does the vocal coaching." He said, "You do a great job." Blew me away. That was one. Um, when Patrice Rushen called me for the professorship, at first, I was like, "Patrice, I'm so honored that you asked me. I'm just moving to Las Vegas, so I wouldn't be able to do it. But just thanks for even thinking of me." And she goes, "Romeo, I didn't think of anybody else but you."
Wow.
Blew me away. Blew
Wow.
me away. But the one that stands out hands down, I had just gotten the Michael Jackson tour, and we had rehearsed 2 weeks with just vocals, and then we went into rehearse with the band. After a few days with the band, it was the first day that Michael was going to come in to hear, our
Yeah.
run through. And of course, I was nervous, man. I was so nervous, right?
Yeah.
And so he comes in and he's listening. He's a super cool guy. I'd already met him before because I had toured with Janet for like 3 years. But he comes in and he's listening to us and he's vibing and he's grooving and he's dancing. And like 3 or 4 songs in, he stops. He goes, "Hold on, wait, hold on a minute. Who's singing that top part? Who's that singing the top?" And I'm like, "Dang it, I'm singing the top part. I must have made a mistake." So I'm like, "Oh no,
Wow.
made a mistake." And they go, "Oh, it's this Romeo singing the top part." He goes, Romeo, Rome, is it Rome? I said, yeah, that's fine. Whatever you want to call me, it's cool, right? He goes, what is it? I said, Romeo. Romeo, you really sound good. And I was like, man, my knees buckled. He said, no, you really do. You sound like the record. You
Oh
sound
wow.
like me. And I
Wow.
was done. Hands down, biggest compliment I ever got in any
Wow.
in my career.
Amazing. Amazing. What's the worst piece of advice you've ever got?
The worst piece of advice I ever got was to not even pursue this thing. You know? Of course, at the time that I was coming up in Chattanooga, a lot of talent, by the way, came out of Chattanooga. I'm from a neighborhood called Washington Hills, same neighborhood that Usher Raymond
Right.
came out of. Our families are very close. We live like blocks away from each other.
Right.
Um, but at that time, because I'm a little older than Usher, so at the time that I was coming out, it was like, nope, that's just not a good move. You're thinking about moving to California. I think it's crazy. People are in that business are doing drugs and killing themselves. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to be cool, promise. But I pursued it, and of course, it worked out fine. And then once I got in the industry, bad advice that I think people receive a lot is to just kind of go along to get along. And what I mean by that is they lose themselves
Yeah.
just in order to fit in, you
Yeah.
know. So a lot of times in this industry, it's like, yo, even though you see something wrong, just don't say anything, man. Just keep quiet. And I'm like, nah, that's not who I've ever been. So not gonna start that now. Those are the two bad advice. And thank God I didn't heed either of them.
Good stuff. Yeah, one final one. So is there any person you would trade places with for a day?
No, man. Absolutely not. Not at all, man. Not at all. Let me tell you, brother. I love my life, man. I love everything about, where God brought me from.
Hmm.
I love my upbringing, my parents, I mean they're deceased now, but they were together for 62 years.
Mm.
My siblings, I loved my everything. Even the bad ended up being good in my life.
Mm. Mm.
The favor that was shown in my life through this career. With all the things that I've accomplished, I always say, I really can't take credit for any of it. As much as I practiced and as much as I, was prepared and ready, every single thing that I got, it was God orchestrated. So He placed these things in a row for me. And when I see how He's functioned in my life, I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't dare want to be anybody else.
Amazing, amazing stuff. I like that answer. So
Thank you.
yeah, we've talked about working with Michael and Jackson. Sorry, Michael and Janet Jackson.
Hmm.
And also with Patrice Rushen. You've also worked with
Yeah.
Keith Sweat, James Ingram, and
Hmm.
I think you've worked with a lot more other artists. I'm not going to mention. What would you say you took from those experiences working with all these different artists who also have different expectations and demands?
Hmm. Great question, and it's great the way you asked it. Uh, all I can say, man, is that first of all, I've taken something from every single person that I've worked for
Hmm.
and that I worked with, even. So I learned a lot from the celebrity artists, and I learned a lot from fellow musicians in the bands or whatever. I've always been open to be a sponge. I love to learn to this day,
Mm.
but I learned different things from different people. So with just the names that you mentioned briefly right there, I can tell you, uh, from Michael, I learned that no matter how great you are, still strive to be better.
Yeah.
So I used to watch Michael at rehearsals and think, what? Why is he going so hard? Like he's Michael Jackson, but
Mm.
he would go like he's trying to, he's still trying to beat somebody. I'm like, you're the best. I learned from Janet a great lesson when I was touring with Janet. I remember once we were at a rehearsal once getting ready for the Janet tour, and I remember someone coming to Janet and she was working on perfecting her choreography, and they were like, "Hey, Janet, come look at the videography and come look at the this and come look at the lighting and blah 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 blah." And she's like, "Hey, listen, I hired people that are supposed to be the best at that. I need to focus on this. Just let them do their job."
Wow.
And she's like, at the end of the day, I'll oversee it and tweak it. I don't need to monitor them. That's the whole reason I hired them. And I thought, geez, it's amazing. Probably some of the best advice I ever heard that
That's
I
great
actually think is
wisdom
well.
right there. Yeah.
Isn't that great? Isn't that great?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, from Patrice Rushen, I learned organization, man. Patrice and her husband are, oh my God. First of all, they're like family to me too. So they took me in from the time that I moved to California, watched out for me and gave me guidance. They are two of the most organized people I've ever seen in my life. Keith Sweat, consistency. Like he just never stops.
Mm.
James Ingram, I learned to allow passion in your vocals no matter what. Like let it go. Sometimes James would sing and it wouldn't even be a lyric. It'd just be like a mumble. But that's what he felt at that moment. So I love that. So yeah, I learned something different from every person, man. And I just love being a sponge. Like I say to this day,
Yeah.
I've been teaching for 30 years. I love to learn still every day.
Wow. Amazing stuff. We've got a debut single out, Till Tomorrow, which
Yeah.
is available on all major platforms. Can
Yes,
you
sir.
talk us through what the song is about and what inspired it?
Sure. Till Tomorrow is a classic Marvin Gaye song. It came out in 83.
Hmm.
I fell in love with it the first time I heard it. And my first thought was, what a romantic, sexy, grown, classy song. Just like me. I'm like, this song is me, right? So, thanks to my mom and my sister, I've always been very comfortable communicating with women. This song is basically a brother talking to his lover, expressing to her how he does not want her to leave. He wants her to stay until tomorrow because, as he puts it, I still got lots more love to give. You dig?
Yeah.
He basically said, "Can you just stay tomorrow? Because I want you to stay."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I love the fact that he was so classy. I've always liked when writers can write about intimate things and still be classy. You know what I mean? And so it was a classy lyric.
Yeah.
It was. I love the different colors that he used in his vocals, and I'm a harmony guy, so I love that the backgrounds had a ton of harmonies. Marvin was like the first guy to kind of really make that a thing to go in and sing all his own backgrounds
Background.
and
Yeah.
match.
Yeah.
Right. So I love that. And so when I first heard it, I thought, man, I love this song. Fast forward years later, I'm in LA. His daughter was doing a tribute for him, and I ended up being featured on the tribute. I did that song as an opening song, and she said, I typically don't like when people do my dad's song, but I love that. You should re-record it. And over years, my friends talked me into, you need to release something, bro. You done everything else in the career.
Mm.
Put something out. And I thought, if I'm going to do a song, I should do that one. So I called three of my friends who we kind of all came on the scene in LA at the same time, and we maintained friendship. Just some of the best musicians in the game,
Mm.
and they're my boys. So I called Scott Mayo, Donnell Spencer Jr., and Sam Sims, who Sam happens to be from Chattanooga as well. Same neighborhood. We all grew up together. And well, Sam and I did. And I hit them up and first talked to Scott Mayo. Uh, all these guys are artists in their own rights. So Scott Mayo, super talented brother. We were roommates for a while, so we're really close. I called him up and said, I want to do this song, man. You want to do it with me and produce it? He agreed. Then we hit Donnell Spencer up. Will you play drums on this? He agreed. Called Sam Sims up. Will you play bass on this? He agreed. None of us were in the studio together. We did
Wow.
the tracks all in our own homes. And this wasn't in pandemic period either. This was,
Yeah.
recently. But if you hear the song, you can hear how cohesively everybody flows.
Mm.
That's just because we know each other so well. We were not in the same room at the same time.
Wow. I didn't know
But
that.
yeah, so we were real happy how it came out. I did all the vocals. Scott did keys, freaking flute, saxophone solo. What Scott did mostly everything on the doggone track, man. Finger snaps,
Amazing.
hand claps, screams, whatever you whistle. No, I'm just kidding. But we got Donnell Spencer to play drums. He killed it. Sam Sims played bass, put the perfect tone and perfect feels on it,
Yeah.
and it turned out the way that it turned out. And we're all happy with it, man.
Wow,
And thank you for supporting it. Thank you.
you're most welcome. That's why I'm loving doing these interviews, because you find out a lot of stuff that you didn't know. I didn't know that that song was not recorded in the studio with all the
Yeah, yeah.
session
I mean,
musicians together.
right, right.
Yeah,
It was definitely, I mean, the blessing is we all four of us, we have professional studios in our homes, so that's the blessing.
yeah,
Um, so when I say that, we all did it in our own spots, it wasn't, it wasn't like one big studio at one time, but
yeah.
we do this thing.
Wow, oh, that's amazing. So, what can we expect in 2024?
Oh, okay. So first of all, I'm going to always, because it's my passion. I will always be vocally coaching clients from all around the globe
Mm.
via Zoom. I do that almost daily. Teach people from all over the world how to sing better. That will continue to happen. I already have my next single lined up. It's going to be a cover as well, but unlike Till Tomorrow, this one is ridiculously popular. It's a song that everyone's loved by an artist that everyone's loved. I'm not going to say the name yet because I want it to be a surprise when I release, but
Okay.
I'm super excited. I'm super excited. I think it's going to be very, very well received. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing that. And, other than that, I'll be promoting Till Tomorrow. I just finished doing a cruise with Patti LaBelle,
Yeah.
Michael McDonald, Marcus Miller, Lisa Fisher, and that was a great success. So, soon I'll be posting some videos of those performances.
All right. Can't wait to see that. Um,
Thank you.
is there anything else you haven't done in your career that you still want to do?
Yeah, interesting enough, in college I did plays, and I actually did a play with Millie Jackson. But just recently I thought, what would be cool? I want to at least once do an acting role on the silver screen. That's probably the only one thing that I want to do that I haven't done. I would love to do an acting role.
Will you be playing like a biopic or just any kind of movie?
No, I really want to do a totally created character. You
All
know what I
right.
mean? I don't
Yeah.
even, yeah, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't turn it down if someone asked me to play someone, but ideally, yeah, I would love to just have a totally created character in some movie and just be able to create that person and do that thing.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you so much for taking time to chat to us and letting
My
us into
pleasure.
a bit of your life. And I'm sure our listeners enjoyed listening to you. And we wish you the
Hey,
very
man.
best for 2024 and hope you keep us posted with all your new projects.
Thank
Um,
you so much, and do me a favor, you guys. Support my guys too. Scott Mayo, Donnell Spencer Jr., and Sam Sims. They're all artists in their
yeah,
own rights too. So
have
look
they,
them
have
up.
they got material out?
Oh yes, absolutely. Scott has a CD called Brazil.
Hmm.
He's Brazilian music is incredible. Donnell Spencer just released a new single called "Go for Gold."
Okay.
Sam Sims has an album out. He's a bass player. He did a cover of the Brothers Johnson Quincy Jones collaboration Q,
Right.
and they're all out now. So yeah, go check them out.
Okay. We'll do, and we'll make sure we give them some airplay as well.
My guy, thank you, man.
Yeah, so thank you. Before you go, can you do us the honor of introducing your single Till Tomorrow?
Absolutely. First of all, let me just say, London, I love you guys. Thank you for the support. Please continue. You are listening to Indie Soul Rhythms, and this is Till Tomorrow by Romeo Johnson.
Hey, baby, where you going? No, you don't have to leave right now. Of course not. Yeah, stay and chill for a while. I want you to. I love you, baby. I love you so much. Baby, baby, baby. Baby, please don't go, oh darling. Don't you know I still love you so? Honey, honey, baby, darling, you know I still care, and I still got lots of love. Baby, 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 please, girl, don't go. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Don't you know I still love you so? Honey, if you need me, I'll go crazy. I still care. Oh, you know I still care.
Fire, baby. Fire, baby.
Tomorrow comes, girl, I love you, babe. Oh, baby, baby, baby. Oh, girl, oh, my darling. Oh, baby, girl.
That was Romeo Johnson with Till Tomorrow. And we're going to take a short commercial break. And when we continue, we're going to continue straight after the break with some more brand new music for you.